Today I fucked up telling my parents about my inheritance. Small update. Original. Too long did not read. Wasn't able to get extensions for classes but they will allow me to withdraw. Dad said he won't challenge Will but says Mom is still gonna. It'll take time for her to prepare a lawsuit and we are gathering evidence of sister's no contact and wishes. Sister's best friend Amy, fake name, is stepping in to help too. My father stated he will not challenge the will but warned us mother is still going to try. He said, to attorney, not me, that despite his efforts to convince her she is saying, mental health issues will prevent TIFU from doing what needs to be done. My sister's best friend Amy was looped in since mother would be challenging the will, which she is a part of. She's been amazing and I'm very happy she's around. She used to live with sister and I but left when she died, not because I wanted her to. She said it was hard being in our home, but she decided to come back after all of this. I told my attorney since my sis had money set aside for a funeral anyway, I should offer to at minimum pay them back. They, Amy and attorney, both agreed it'd be a good idea so my parents won't have a leg to stand on in court. Attorney has another meeting scheduled with my father on Friday, Monday depending on his availability. Things are going fast, and I didn't expect them to go this fast. It's like my head is spinning. As for school, had a meeting with the dean and my academic advisor. Finals are next week so they thankfully moved it up. I explained the situation to them and they were apologetic and let me know they'd talk to me teachers. The dean got back to me today and said the teachers were unwilling to compromise and ultimately it was up to them. He suggested I get the withdrawal for the classes so I'll drop those classes. I'm taking a semester break as a lot of you suggested. Oh, and for the Reddit user who said to offer free housing for the first year as a scholarship, Amy thought it would be a great way to honor my sister. Not sure the process for that but Amy said she'd help me figure it out once I'm out of school. I'm happy Amy is back at home. Doesn't feel quite as empty as it did before. I'll update again if there's any other developments but for now, I'm gonna log out and let my attorney handle this. Thank you everyone for the advice. Grief screws with people. Sounds like your dad has calmed down but your mom has got her eyes on a payload? With time hopefully it all settles without costly court drama. Good luck. Best wishes to you pal, good luck. The act of offer free housing for first-year scholarship is honorable. Might be a good idea to find a therapist, counselor to help you through all this. Dealing with the loss of a close family member is hard enough, but adding the stress of dealing with the extra legal drama isn't making it easier. Check with your lawyer, but if your mom tries to pull the mental health card to gain control, you'd potentially have them as an witness to counter your mom's mental health shenanigans. Good luck and I'm sorry for your loss. I'm rooting for you random Reddit stranger. Good luck. Sucks that you have to pull out of college for this but you seriously need to be focused on it. My non-lawyer opinion is that your mom doesn't have a leg to stand on but you should make sure your attorney knows everything. Good luck with everything and take care of yourself. Today I fucked up by thinking my cat didn't shit in my bed. This happened just this morning, and I was thinking that maybe I can entertain some people with it. I rarely post on Reddit, so if I messed up anything, I'm sorry. A little context before we start this story. My cat had one of her kidneys removed last Friday. She was experiencing gallstones and said kidney was extremely enlarged. This kidney is currently being examined in a lab as the vets had no idea what was wrong with it. She has been on meds before and after the surgery and has been recovering well. Spending fairly large amounts of time in my room as it's one of her comfort places. She's a purebred cat and currently 14 years old. And #X200B. So since yesterday around 8 p.m. my cat was hanging out with me in my room. She was on my bed so I joined her and we just cuddled and watched movies until roughly midnight when I was very tired and decided to try and sleep. I shoved most of my clothes off my bed and she wanted to stay, which was fine with me. She settled in the right corner of my bed on my feet side and my blanket ended up covering half of her. Eventually I fell asleep. It was 2 a.m. I woke up the sound of my cat jumping off my bed, and seen the time I decided to let her out my room in case she was hungry or needed to use the toilet. What I didn't know was, that she shit in my bed. Apparently, while still shooting feces she jumped off my bed, and when I jumped out of my bed shortly after, I managed to narrowly avoid the shit splatter she left when she jumped off my bed and let her out my room. I left the lights off, as I am not very fond of light. I had no idea that there was shit everywhere. When I crawled back in my bed and started to back to sleep I started to smell her surprise gift she left me. I thought, ain't no way she shit in my bed. So I went to sleep just thinking it was a singular shit somewhere, 'cause that just happens sometimes. And that I'd clean it up in the morning, as I was way too sleepy. Well, I was wrong. It was around 9 a.m. when my mom came in and woke me up. Now I am not a morning person at all. It is safe to say I get suicidal urges every day I open my eyes in the morning, and it takes at least an hour for me to properly wake up and get my brain going. She was talking to me, but I didn't hear anything as I was still half asleep and stretching, so I only heard my muscles, if you understand what I mean. The only word I picked up was, poop, and I already knew that, so I didn't think much of it. At this point I still thought my cat had left a singular dropping somewhere in a corner of my room. Eventually an hour later, for clarification, I think I became smell blind to it after sleeping with it in my room for apparently 8 hours. I decided to get my ass out of bed. This is when I saw the humongous, now smeared out, shit stain, with clumps still there, in the corner of where my cat had slept. I jumped out of bed, and yet again narrowly avoided the shit splatters that were there. I looked around and saw another huge ass mark close to my closet. Now my cat also has a history of pissing in my closet when she was younger, so I made sure to check she didn't attempt to wipe her ass on my clothes. Luckily she did not. But it gets worse. At this point in time I thought only my room was hit with her anal explosion. It was not. When I made my way to the upstairs hallway to have breakfast with my family, I saw another huge shit stamp right out of my door, followed with a huge skid mark towards the stairs. At this point my heart dropped and I started to half run down the carpeted stairs. As you may have guessed, my cat tried to wipe her behind on these as the carpet has quite a rough texture. 3 of the steps were brown. I jumped over them and almost landed in another skid mark in the downstairs hallway. The downstairs hallway is tiled, but the tiles are filled with all different types of stone, though a smooth surface, so it was almost impossible to see at first. Tippy-toeing like they do in cartoons, I tried to avoid the large amount of feces and entered the living room. It was a massacre. There were skid marks everywhere, and I genuinely mean everywhere. If I had to describe it in one sentence, I'd say it looked like a Formula One racetrack, with brown skid marks. It was all over the floor. Luckily she saved most our furniture, bless her. The one exception was our coffee table, where my brother's homework was located. I hope his teacher believes him. I offered my mom to clean it all up as the culprit is my cat after all. I got to scrubbing the floors. The more I scrubbed the more I found. It was in every corner of the living room. One of the marks was even in 180 degrees, which was pretty impressive. We moved the couch as our other cat had thrown up under there earlier, and lo and behold, another huge crap stamp. Even one of the bathrooms wasn't safe for her excretion missiles. Unsure if I have mentioned before, but this diarrhea was liquid. I have finished cleaning everything and my hands are pretty numb from my violent scrubbing. I feel pretty guilty. If I only had turned on my lights I would have seen what was happening and could have prevented it from spreading through the entire house. My cat is now sleeping behind my PC as I am writing this. I guess I could say this really is a new core memory for me. Just to clarify, we are in no way mad at her and she will not be punished. Instead we will be reporting this incident to the vet. And #X200B. Too long did not read. Cat had explosive, liquid diarrhea. I had no idea and allowed her to spread it through the entire house. My cat sometimes drops giant turds, but I can't comprehend how your cat physically managed to contain that much poop. I mean, it sounds like she legitimately consisted of at least 20–25% shit tonight. Godspeed to her. It was Amber Heard. I heard that. Yikes, this sounds hellish. Shit man. I remembered that my cat done things like this too. It was like 3 years ago. My cat and I were sleeping, and in around 4 a.m. cat wakes up, meowing, in order to ask to open the door, if to be more specific, and I ignored him. Then, I'm waking up at 10 a.m. and seeing a huge crap heap on the clothes that I prepared to wash. It was definitely my fault. Closing parenthesis. Pay the cat tax. Edit. I hope your cat and your house are both okay and return to normal. Shitty situation. Today I fucked up by making my crush wet. I know how this sounds, I have no idea how else to say it. Anyways, I agreed to help my crush dye her hair at my place, since her shower was broken. It went pretty well with the dyeing part and we had some fun watching YouTube while we had to wait for the hair dye. I have never helped someone else wash their hair and it was a bit awkward since I didn't know how to hold the shower head and not be too close to her, since the layout of my shower is a bit wacky. The shower doors are super small, so she stood in the shower while I held the shower head behind her in the doorway. It honestly didn't work too bad and I thought I had handled the situation similarly well. But when we were done she had to turn off the shower since I wouldn't be able to reach it. Well, my shower has forward-facing jets which are activated by turning the shower handle beyond turned off. I totally forgot it even had those since I've never used them, which is why I forgot to tell her not to turn the handle too far to turn it off. With her long hair in her face she turned the handle way beyond the point of turning it off and the jets started blasting water at her. She screamed, I got scared and started laughing nervously, not know what to do, and forgot to move out of the way for her to avoid the jets. She got soaking wet. She wore a white shirt. I will never wash anyone's hair ever again. Too long did not read. I forgot to tell my crush my shower activates jets if you don't turn it off correctly while washing her hair and got her white shirt soaking wet. Edit. Excuse me for the clickbait title. I am not a native speaker and have been corrected in the comments. Thank you all for your suggestions, I still have a lot to learn. This a win, bruh. As a depressingly grown-up old person I can assure you that there is no way to wash your hair without getting soaked. If you have a shampoo bowl, like at the hairdressers, then you can stay dry, but otherwise, your shirt is getting wet. It was very sweet of you to try to help, though. And another grown-up piece of info? Your crush likes you too. That's a very personal thing they let you help them with. The fact that she got in your shower means she either thinks you're gay or she's interested. Sounds like part of a romantic comedy. The word, crush, reminds me of the 1980s. I thought you accidentally turned someone on.